Hello, everybody. Good morning from Montreal, California. My name is Masako Toki, the Senior Project Manager of the Critical Issues Forum at the James Martin Center for Nonproliferation Studies of the Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Montreal. So thank you very much for your participation in the Critical Issues Forum online teachers workshop. I am so excited to work with you for this year's CIF project. Also, for those who are watching the recorded lectures at a later time, thank you for watching the lecture video. This year's CIF topic is Toward a World Free of Nuclear Weapons, the Role of Youth as Change Agents. Critical Issues Forum is an international education project to promote disarmament and non-proliferation to high school students and teachers. As the first event of the 2019 and 2010 academic year, we are conducting this online teachers workshop. First of all, I would like to introduce Mr. Jean Dupree, a Senior Program Manager for Education and Training at CNS, who is going to give you welcome remarks. Let me briefly introduce Mr. Jean Preez. Jean rejoined CNS earlier this year. He has more than 30 years experience in diplomacy, international security, arms control, non-proliferation, and disarmament. After a long diplomatic career in the South African Foreign Service, he joined CNS first in 2002, where he led the International Organization and Non-Proliferation Program. Then he moved to Vienna, Austria, to work at the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organization, CTBTO, in 2009, where he led the External Relations and International Cooperation section until August 2016. He has an extensive experience and expertise in disarmament, non-proliferation, and arms control. Therefore, he is going to give 3 content lectures in addition to this welcome remarks, of course. And we are so fortunate to have Jean to CIF project. So now I'm going to give a microphone to Jean. So now microphone is yours.
Thank you, Masako, and hello, everyone. I'm very pleased to have been asked to open the Critical Issues Forum for 2019 and 2020. This is a long-standing project, started about 23 years ago. And the focus of the project is to develop critical thinking amongst high school students in the field of non-proliferation, in particular of disarmament of nuclear weapons. Today is a beautiful day in Monterey. Beautiful sunshine, nice and warm. We enjoy the beauty that nature offers us. We have to remember that this can change in a few minutes if nuclear weapons are to be used by the countries that possess them. And that's why it is important for you as high school teachers to instill in your students just thinking, critical ways to look at their future and a future that is still threatened by nuclear weapons. This project started in 1997 with a number of United States schools, and then started to engage Russian schools, especially those from the former closed cities. In 2012, much to Masako Toki's doing, the Critical Issues Forum also started engaging Japanese high schools, especially those in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the 2 cities that were destroyed as a result of US nuclear bombs dropped on them towards the end of the Second World War. Every year, between 80 and 100 students join us here in Monterey, or in sometimes even in Japan, in Hiroshima or Nagasaki, for a spring conference. It is an amazing event where we see young minds and leaders of tomorrow come together to debate amongst each other and through critical thinking what their future will look like. And as you can see from this year's and next year's topic for the conference, toward a world free of nuclear weapons, the role of youth as change agent, we recognize that the world of tomorrow does not belong to us. It belongs to the high school students. And these are the students that will become the leaders, will become those who take decisions on what their future look like. It is our responsibility as teachers, as parents, as researchers to enable them, to provide them with the necessary tools and skills to do just that. Over the years, thousands of students have been involved in this project. We estimate that it might even be as high as 5,000. Those students obviously did not all come to Monterey, or in some cases to Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But through their schools, they were all active in preparing for the conference, learning more about the conference, and of course their teachers are force multipliers. So you as teachers, once you participate and are provided with the material that we provide, this material becomes part of your teaching tools. And we see and we have experienced that this serves as a very, very powerful force multiplier. Many of the CIF alumni continue to be interested in international security, and particularly in the issue of nuclear disarmament. Some alumni have told us that participation in the Critical Issues Forum made them decide to study in the field of international security and international relations. And this is exactly what we hope to do, to provide them with some introduction, to provide them with the necessary inspiration, to look into career opportunities in this field. And they range from being a researcher and an analyst to becoming a national diplomat or working at an international organization. And there are many of these organizations that we will discuss during the Critical Issues Forum, some of the lectures, so I will not point to them at this stage. There are many youth initiatives taking place today. I think we are all inspired by the young Swedish high school student, Greta Thunberg, that have really taken the world by storm and taken up very powerful international leaders on the issue of global warming. Similarly, we hope that high school students will follow that example and focus on establishing an action plan to make their world free of nuclear weapons. One perfect example of this is a school in Los Angeles, the Dr. Olga Mohan High School, that established a nuclear-free school as part of their ongoing project. Students from this high school worked close together with civil society, and that led to the Los Angeles City Council adopting a decision to support the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons that was adopted by the General Assembly only a few years ago. And this treaty is gaining more and more support. Unfortunately, the states with nuclear weapons, including the United States, including Russia, also unfortunately including Japan, that do not have nuclear weapons but is a close ally to the United States, have not yet joined this treaty. Through our students and through US teachers, we hope that more attention can be given to this in particular important project. In recognition of the work that students and civil society have taken in support of the treaty prohibiting nuclear weapons, the international campaign against nuclear weapons won the Nobel Peace Prize. And one of the participants in ICANN is a Russian Critical Issues Forum alumni. And she participated in the ICANN Hiroshima Academy that was held just this past August in Hiroshima. So this is a very proud accomplishment, and we would like to, through you, to encourage your students to seek similar opportunities. There are many, and students are so innovative, and you as teachers provide them the necessary tools to do so. So I look forward engaging you more during this video series, and we very much look forward to you and your students' participation in the Spring 2020 Critical Issues Forum toward a world free of nuclear weapons, the role of youth as change agents. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Jean. I really appreciate your welcome remarks. So now I'm going to mute your microphone, and I'm going to talk about the overview of the Critical Issues Forum Teachers Workshop very briefly. So I know many of the teachers are returning teachers, but this year we are so happy to have several new schools. So let me explain how this workshop works and how the Critical Issues Forum works. So we are going to provide approximately 10 content lectures, starting with some basic lectures, such as World Nuclear Weapons Situation Overview, Scientific Aspects of Nuclear Weapons, International Nuclear Non-Proliferation and Disarmament Regimes. Then we are going to give lectures on US-Russia nuclear weapons issues, the two nuclear superpowers. And also, we are going to give some lectures on regional nuclear weapons issues, including the Middle East, South Asia, and East Asia, especially North Korea. Then I will going to give one session to introduce useful resources for this year's topic. And this workshop also includes instructions and explanation about students' assignment, our expectation, including some mini project and final project. And we plan to post all of the presentation slides and relevant materials on the project website, along with a video recording of lectures and instructions. So basically, after you have watched all of the lectures and instructions at the workshop, you will know what you have to do for this project. But of course, if you have any question, please feel free to contact me by email or a phone call, or I'm also happy to have any follow-up session using Zoom or Skype. And throughout the project duration, between now and spring conference, toward the spring conference, I'm going to communicate with each of the teachers very closely. So this academic year's spring conference will be held on March 27th and 28th in Montreal. And of course, I will discuss more details about the spring conference and the presentation instruction in a separate session. So this year, we expect to have participant schools from around the United States, Japan, and Russia. We are expecting to have approximately 10 American schools, there are 5 Japanese, and 5 Russian schools. And we are happy to welcome many of the returning schools, as well as several new schools. And I really appreciate your dedication and interest in important global nuclear issues and your continuous hard work of educating youth about non-proliferation and disarmament. And I really wanted to emphasize the important role of teachers So without teachers, we really cannot have this project. So I'm very happy to work with wonderful, dedicated teachers like you. So as you see, we are using Zoom for the online conference tool. And now Zoom is quite a major platform for any online conference. So I hope this is not so difficult for you. And as a reminder, you are all muted and your video is disabled upon joining. So please keep your videos off to avoid slow connections. Sometimes, yeah, we do have a participant from Russia and Japan. So sometimes if we use a video, the internet connection is gonna be a little bit slow. And during the question and answer session, you can unmute your microphone and to ask any questions you might have. But it might be also easier to use the chat function. You will find the chat function at the bottom of the screen. And you can send your question using this chat function anytime. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to everyone who is supporting this project. So this year's CIF project is supported by the Saga Foundation and the Tom and Sarah Patterson Fund. And I am also very thankful for my colleagues, CNS experts who are going to give content lectures for the workshop. In addition, we are getting significant technical support from the Middlebury Institute's Digital Learning Common in Montreal. We are currently streaming the workshop from DLC's NICE studio. So as I mentioned, this year's topic is toward a world free of nuclear weapons, the role of youth as change agents. So CIF students will investigate the current nuclear threats and find a solution to these challenges. CIF students also discuss how young generations can impact progress toward a world free of nuclear weapons. The young generation is the ultimate force for change, as stated by United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres. CNS strives to empower youth through disarmament and non-proliferation education for a safer and more peaceful world. So we are so looking forward to working with each one of you toward this goal, and we are looking forward to seeing you in person at the spring conference. So thank you so much for your participation. So I'm going to stop the recording before we move to the content lecture. So see you soon.